And gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four College Football Podcast. We have Mike, the Michigan State fan, Alex and Chris, the Michigan fan, and Luke, the Ohio State fan. And let's start off with the College Football Playoff Top 4. Did the committee get it right?
Yes, and there's an argument for two other teams, but I believe they got it right. Luke, I know you're passionate about this. Go ahead.
I have no problem with Oklahoma getting the 4th spot. No problem with it. My problem is Georgia being at 5 and us being at 6.
Oh, God.
That means they think Georgia is unequivocally better than us, but not Oklahoma. What sense does that make? No sense at all. So you're telling me the 11-1 Big Ten champions, arguably the second best conference in the country, people were arguing before the season it was arguably the best conference in the country, isn't going to make the playoffs? That's absurd. Absolutely absurd.
You just said you didn't have a problem with them being out of the top 4.
No. I mean, but being behind the 10-2, or what is it? They're 10-2.
11-2.
11-2 SEC runner-up? Give me a break. The committee clearly ranked them based on how the highest score, and it was unbelievable.
Oh, it's
the best team. It's not going to count the not worst team is what they did.
No, they just wanted to make the SEC look better. It's as clear as day. There's no doubt about it.
The committee, all right. There's two ways to look at this.
Frank Beamer should be fired.
You can say that. I think it should have been the four best teams.
And if it's the 4 best teams, give me a break that Notre Dame's in there.
No, it should have been the 4.
Bang.
All right. Let's calm down. First of all, most deserving teams, if they're doing it by that, they got it right. If they're going by the 4 best teams...
No, they didn't. You think Notre Dame deserves to get in? Are you on crack?
They're 12-0. They've beaten some good teams.
Who'd they beat?
They beat Michigan.
Oh, wow. Michigan. What a win.
Ohio State.
What?
What?
Okay.
What?
I'm going to keep going. As far as I was concerned, going into yesterday, Notre Dame was a lock. Clemson was basically a lock. They weren't going to lose to Pitt. And if Alabama won, they were a lock. All that happened. If they were going by the 4 best teams, which I think they should have done, Georgia should have been the number 4 team. Ohio State was not even, as far as I'm concerned, they weren't even the consideration. Georgia should have been the number 4 team if they were going by best team.
Here's what I don't understand.
Georgia is the second best team in the country. No.
But they choke. You can't be a choker and be a bad...
Blow the doors off of them. No, Georgia would beat Clemson.
Is it best teams at their best or not worst teams at their worst? That's the question.
Huh? What?
That made no sense at all.
Yeah.
Ohio State is the best team when they're playing their best out of the 3 that are going for the last spot.
Well, do you think they're playing at their best right now?
Right now they are.
Can't lose to Purdue by 30 and make the playoffs.
Okay. I mean...
I think if you look at those 3 teams, Georgia is out because of the 2 losses. It's basically between Ohio State and Oklahoma. And Oklahoma, this makes any sense as the better loss because they lost the Texas team who's going into the Peach Bowl.
They're looking at it as most deserving, and that's fine. I don't know how to look at it, but they definitely got it right if they did it by most deserving.
Well, the thing is they do it by most deserving, and the committee's going to come back and say we put in the 4 best teams. Yeah. Like last year, Ohio State was probably more deserving than Alabama, but they went with Alabama.
Here's what I don't understand.
Why do people play conference championships then if they don't mean anything? I think, but they should just do the 4 best teams. That's their job. I think.
And I want to ask you a question. What did Oklahoma do that Ohio State didn't?
Oklahoma avenged their loss, which is a good loss.
No, we're going to get to that topic later. Here's what I don't understand. The criteria changes every single season. This is what pisses me off. In 2014, the first playoff, They put in the 4 best teams. Ohio State, who did not deserve to make the playoff this year, got in because they were one of the 4 best teams. The next year, they put it...
Mike.
No, what?
2014, was that the year TCU was up there?
Yes, TCU and Baylor, yeah.
They were one of the 4 best teams.
Well, Ohio State was playing better. That's why they put them in.
TCU was better.
No, that's just not true.
Yes, it is.
Ohio State only won the national championship. All right, that's not my point. 2015, they put in the 4 most deserving teams. I don't think Michigan State should have made it that year. Stanford should have made it over us. They put in the 4 most deserving that year. Then the next year, they did the 4 most deserving again. Last year, they did the 4 best with Alabama. And then this year, they changed it again and did the 4 most deserving. It makes no sense. Pick one. Don't do both. Like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
No. You're talking about... Now, people forget about this. Alabama didn't make the conference championship last year. They got it, right?
Yeah.
We all know that.
It's ridiculous.
2 years ago, Ohio State got in the playoff and did not make the conference championship.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, too.
So that goes back to my point. Why don't mean anything? I think it should probably mean more. Those games need to mean more.
I like Joe Klatt's one.
But then if you go by that, philosophy, then you got 5 Power 5 conference champions and only 4 make it. You ready for that? But the Pac-12 sucks. You ready for this idea? You ready? You expand to 8 teams. All right? Yeah. Each Power 5 champion gets a spot. The best group of 5 conference champions gets a spot.
No.
And there's 2 at-large bids. And you can't complain because you should have won your conference. Yes.
No.
And it makes the UCF guys happy, or the Western Michigan guys happy that they compete with the best.
No.
You rank them 1 to 8.
If you had the number 15 ranked Western Michigan team in the playoff, there would have been problems. There would have been big problems. You can't just put in the best group of 5 team.
Because one of them that didn't make it should have won their conference.
It doesn't matter. Listen, you can't put in the top group of 5 team every year because there's going to be a year where the group of 5 team's ranked number 20 in the nation.
Okay, and there's going to be a year like this year where the Pac-12 team's going to be Pac-12 team's going to be number 15. Well, he's actually number 9, so.
Yeah, number 9. Just do the top 8 teams. It's not that hard. It really.
No. Make the conference champion mean something. It means nothing.
Here's what they should do. They should do a 10 team.
They don't.
They should do a 10. They should do a 10 team playoff with the 10 conference champions making it. How about that?
Yes. And the top 2 get 5. Put in Fresno State.
Fresno State, UAB, App State.
If you're a group of 5 team, you're not even playing for a championship every year. What's the point of playing? You're not going to get a championship because they just
Exactly. If the committee was putting the top 4 teams in, it would be Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, and UCF. Those are the top 4 teams. Obviously, they didn't do that. So
most deserve it. There's most how many years? The question. So if UCF wins their bowl game and runs the year, are they going to make the playoff? No, they're not. The committee's going to make another excuse. They can't let it be. They can't let the people choose. They have to make it a way where.
Go back to BCS.
No.
Yes,
no.
Go back to BCS.
The five conference champions get in. There. BCS. It's the same thing. Everybody knows what they have to do to make it.
I agree with you, Luke. The top 5 make it, but you can't just have the best group of 5 team make it every year. You could say
champion.
UCF would have made it this year anyway, because they're a top 8 team. If there was an 8-team playoff, you have to earn it, and then so. It doesn't make any sense. Notre Dame is not a top 4 team, and they are not a top 4 deserving team either. Do not tell me that they are a top 4 deserving team. That is BS. BS. UCF deserves it more than they do, and it's not even close. Not even close.
And you play a Power 5 schedule, That's what you get.
Power 5 schedule? They got Navy in there. They got a bunch of Navies and Ball States. Give me a break.
That's not true at all.
What do they got? At Wake Forest? They got the worst ACC teams this year.
Florida
Florida
State. They have
State.
good teams. They had Pitt, the ACC runner-up, Pitt.
Oh, please.
Michigan was on their.
They almost lost to Pitt. They almost lost to Pitt.
Stanford was good at the time.
Syracuse without Eric Dungy. What a win. What a win that is. That's a crappy win. Give me a break. USC, they were losing to 5-7 USC. Ridiculous.
In fact, I will predict right now, Notre Dame is your national champion.
Notre Dame's going to get destroyed by 40 points. It's ridiculous. There is no way that Notre Dame should be in this. They shouldn't even be in the top 6. Ohio State deserves it 10 times more. Oklahoma deserves it more. Georgia deserves it more. UCF deserves it more. Even Washington deserves it more. Please, get Notre Dame out of here. That's ridiculous.
How dare you? How dare you?
Even Michigan deserves it more. I don't even...
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Notre Dame played a Power 5 schedule. They played good teams all year long.
Who was the best win besides Michigan? And that's a flawed win because Michigan chokes against good teams. Who's their best win?
Northwestern, good win.
What?
5 lost Northwestern.
Northwestern,
Oh,
good
come
win.
on. Northwestern, give me a break.
Syracuse, good win.
No, Dungy was hurt. Doesn't matter.
Look at USC, good win.
No! 5-7 USC? 5-7 USC.
Virginia Tech's a bowl team, good win.
Virginia 6-6 Virginia Tech, who lost to Old Dominion.
Stanford was good at the time, good win.
Stanford 7-5 Stanford. I mean, give me a break. A bunch of 7-5.
Yeah, why isn't UCF in? He's common opponent. If Notre Dame can go undefeated playing nobody, why is UCF not in?
UCF plays American team. Oh my God! At least Notre Dame.
UCF beat Pitt by more than Notre Dame did, by a lot more.
Cares? It doesn't mean anything.
Ohio State beat Michigan and Northwestern by more than Notre Dame did.
It doesn't matter. Notre Dame went undefeated with a Power 5 schedule.
No, they did not. And they didn't have to play a conference championship. It's BS. Get into a conference if you want to make the playoff. They can just coast through this week without playing.
Stanford, Virginia Tech, Pitt, Navy, Northwestern, Florida State, Syracuse, USC. Power 5 schedule, give me a break.
Chris, Wisconsin. They were Wisconsin from last year. If Wisconsin didn't have to play a conference championship, they would have been in last year. They are equivalent to Wisconsin.
I'm sorry, Wisconsin has a loss. That's all I have to say.
Wisconsin had to play a conference championship, and Notre Dame
And
didn't.
Wisconsin did not have as good of a win as Notre Dame does with beating Michigan.
Well, they beat Michigan last year. There you go, same team.
Oh, yeah, they beat Michigan last year, yeah.
It does. Well, Notre Dame's still got a worse schedule. They had to play. Wisconsin beat Northwestern.
That's not true.
They beat Northwestern last year too.
Much better resume than that Wisconsin team.
No, last year's Northwestern team was better, and they beat them by more than Notre Dame did.
Gosh.
No, they were.
They were not.
Well, last year's Northwestern team was nasty. Austin Carr, Clayton Thorson. It's not even close. Minnesota was a good win last year for them. Illinois.
I think Oklahoma, Georgia, and Ohio State should be in over Notre Dame.
Ridiculous.
UCF.
All 3 of those teams would beat Notre Dame.
I don't think you were here for me to say this, but I've declared that Notre Dame will win the national championship. As much as it pains me to say.
Okay, you know they're predicted to come 4 out of 4, right?
See, what is Clemson? What is Clemson, like 14-point favorites or something?
Doesn't matter. Notre Dame's winning the national championship.
The Clemson Notre Dame game is going to be like the Clemson Pitt game. It's going to be over in the first 10 seconds.
No. You know, Ian Book is better than Trevor Lawrence. They have a better quarterback.
That is just not true.
Yes, it is.
That is not true.
Better defense.
He is the worst quarterback in the college football playoff.
What?
Yes, he is. He's the worst.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's by far the worst.
I'll take Jalen Hurts over him. I'll take both Alabama quarterbacks. I'll take Kelly Bryant over him.
3 Heisman candidates versus a guy who didn't even start.
I will take Jalen Hurts over Ian Book, but I'm not taking Trevor Lawrence.
I'll take Kyler Murray's backup over Ian Book.
Ian Book now.
Give me Brandon Wimbush over him. Who do you think could beat Michigan?
Okay, did Ian Book can't? If Ian Book played that game, it would have got destroyed.
Oh my
Give
God.
me that Zaire guy they had a couple years ago. Transferred to Florida. He got crunched by Michigan last year.
Anyways.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Was Ohio State robbed?
No.
Yes.
They weren't robbed. They weren't robbed by Oklahoma being number 4. They were robbed by Georgia being number 5. That was absurd by the committee.
Oh, that's-
Why do you
this is the
care if
dumbest-
you're number 5 or number
Yeah, this
6?
is the
It means
dumbest
nothing.
argument I've ever heard.
Why do you care if you're number 5 or number 6? Because I'd rather be 4 than 5 and know we were the next team in than be behind Georgia with a true lost non-conference. Well, Georgia's just a better football team. No, they're not. We've destroyed them by 40.
Well, Ohio State deserved it. Definitely deserved it more than Oklahoma. I don't care about the loss. Purdue's a good team. Like Luke said, they're
6-6 Purdue.
the Big Ten is the second best conference in college football, and they won it. And they won at Penn State.
Oh, you were talking about 6-6 Virginia Tech. Okay, suck. So 6-6 Purdue, therefore sucks.
Purdue's a good team. I don't care what record they have. I don't care if they lost it to whoever they lost to. They're a good team.
Yeah, use the eye test. About like 4 points. Like the committee said they did for Georgia. I use the eye test. The eye test tells you Georgia should have made the playoff. The eye test tells you
No, absolutely not.
Georgia is
Georgia has 2 losses.
second best team in the country, though. They want the 4 best teams that should have made the playoff.
That's why Joe Burrow made Georgia his freaking daddy. I mean, come on. And then, okay, so Ohio State would destroy everybody in the Big 12, just like Oklahoma did. I don't know if they beat Oklahoma itself, but they would have beaten Texas that first time. Texas is overrated, like every year.
I want to give a shout out too. I want to give a shout out to Kyle Whittingham, Charlie Strong, Chris Peterson, Jay Norvell, Urban Meyer, Justin Fuente, Scott Frost, James Franklin, Pat Fitzgerald, Jimbo Fisher, Luke Fickle, Mark D'Antonio, Dave Clausen, Jeff Brom, and John Bonamago, because they were the coaches who voted for Ohio State to be in the top 4 in their final coach.
Oh, let's go. Let's
Wait,
go.
Luke, how do I see how the coaches voted? I can't figure that out. It's on Twitter. Okay.
See, Mark D'Antonio knows how to vote. He knows what he's doing. These other guys in the committee are clueless. It makes no sense. Ohio State was robbed. They should have got in over Notre Dame. They beat Michigan by more, and they played Michigan later in the season. So Ohio State clearly should have gotten in, and they over Notre Dame, and they beat Northwestern. I mean, it's not even close. And they would shellac Notre Dame if they played them. And they have a conference championship. I could go on. All right. Let's move on. Haskins throws for 500 yards, and Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship. What do you guys think about this game?
I mean, it's not really surprising, is it?
Northwestern made it close at the beginning, and then Ohio State ran away.
Nobody blows out Pat Fitzgerald.
You know, I like what they did to start the second half, where they were limiting the short, quick throws by Haskins. Because once you make him sit in the pocket, he's not that good, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Down the sideline on 3rd and 20. Not that good.
They let their line get to him. They put some pressure on him. That's all he did against Michigan. All he did was throw like screen passes and 5-yard slants. So
what you're telling me, Alex, is that a quarterback isn't good when they pressure on him.
no, I'm not saying that. When he's not throwing 5-yard screens, I'm saying when he's not throwing 5-yard screens, he's not as good as he looks.
That is ridiculous.
Okay.
That is ridiculous.
That's terrible.
That is ridiculous. Dwayne Haskins is the best quarterback
I don't know, Chris, I don't know how much of a say you have on terrible picks and takes. So,
What are you talking about?
That is true.
Chris, you were last in both podcasts on picks. You just picked Notre Dame to win, and you don't have much to say.
No, they're winning the national championship.
When we get to those picks,
they're going to be like Michigan State a couple years ago when they played Alabama in the playoffs. They're going to lose like 38.
Michigan State to win that game.
I picked Michigan State to win that game.
But back to the Big Ten championship game. I think this Big Ten championship game just shows more about how good of a coach Pat Fitzgerald is than anything else.
And it shows how unbalanced the Big Ten is.
Yeah, that too.
Because 8-4 Northwestern.
I have a proposition. I think we should move Indiana to the west and move Northwestern to the east, and then we should move Wisconsin to the east and move Maryland to the west, and that it would be perfect. We'd have a perfect Eastern Conference. That would be.
It'd be like Minnesota out the west every year or something like
Well,
that.
Minnesota's going to be I've got Minnesota winning the Big Ten West next year, so they'll be nasty.
Yeah, if you do that, they will be in the Big Ten West.
No, they'll still win it next year, no matter what happens.
PJ Fleck has the boat rowing.
Oh, it's just getting going. It's just getting going right now. It's about to fall over that waterfall next year. It's coming. He's rowing the boat.
You got to switch out Minnesota and Ohio State.
No. They should just go back. They should go back to leaders and.
Leaders and legends, and then the next week they can play again.
I thought the leaders and legends thing was perfect. Of course, you had new teams, but you just put like Rutgers in the legends and Maryland in the leaders, and then they'll be perfect. They had it perfect, and they had to mess it up. It makes no sense. Although the Big Ten wasn't as good when they switched it. So, anyways, Dwayne Haskins, amazing. Ohio State, good team. Pat Fitzgerald, the best coach in the Big Ten, just can't recruit as well as those other coaches because it's Northwestern. It's like trying to get kids to go to Harvard and play football. So, I mean, best coach in the Big Ten, Pat Fitzgerald.
No.
Yes.
No.
Put him at Ohio State, you'd have 10 national championships. All right, let's move on. Bama defeats Georgia 35-28. Georgia was up 28-14 before Jalen Hurts led the comeback. What do you guys think about this game?
Jalen Hurts is my starter against Oklahoma. And it's not even close. Tua Tagovailoa, first of all, he cost himself the Heisman. I know we're getting to that later, but he cost himself the Heisman, and he sucked. He was awful. He gagged. They brought in Hurts, and he dominated. So I know Jalen Hurts has the experience. He led that big-time drive against Clemson a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and who's the one who won them that game last year?
Tua.
Yeah, you want to talk about it?
You ride with the hot hand, don't you? You ride with the hot hand.
He went in because he was hurt.
Doesn't matter. He's hot. He also went in. By the way, I think Tua could have come back into that game. Tua was awful.
Are you the trainer now? You know how bad the injury was?
Yeah, it's like some sort of sprained ankle or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he's out for like 2 weeks. But I saw him walking around the sideline. He could have just stood there in the pocket. But Jalen Hurts, he's a hot hand. You got to go with Jalen Hurts in the playoff. It's a great game to watch. Georgia, second best team in the country, should have been in the playoff, but it doesn't matter. They're not. Jalen Hurts got to play against Oklahoma.
If Tua's healthy, you have to play him because he's the Heisman favorite.
Nope. Jalen Hurts
not even close. He's not a winner. He got subbed out in the championship game.
Jalen Hurts is a winner.
Jalen Hurts never won. You know, Jalen Hurts technically has won the national championship as a starting quarterback last year.
That's true.
And he should have won a couple years ago.
And Nick Foles is a Super Bowl champion. What's your point?
He should have won a couple years ago. He made an incredible drive to go ahead in that game, and Deshaun Watson came down the field and gave Clemson that game.
But you're saying ride the hot hand like he's been playing well for like 5 straight games now. He played well for a half.
By the way, I would like to say something about that game. The most underrated championship game in history. People say that Vince Young's Texas game was better. No, that game was much better. Clemson Alabama game. that year.
What about the Michigan State? What about the Michigan State Iowa game a couple years ago? Entertaining fight, 13-9.
Yeah,
I'll take that game.
That was almost as entertaining as the Jags game today.
Oh, 6-0. Hey, I'll take that game.
I don't know. I say you have to play Tua if he's healthy, but I don't know. Kirby Smart's a joker, and everybody knows it.
You have to play Jalen Hurts over Tua because Tua's a lefty.
Yeah, you got to look at
the clutchest college quarterback of all time. So you have to play.
That's just not true.
No.
Yes, it is.
Oklahoma can't stop the pass. Tua can throw better. Start Tua, even though Jalen Hurts is better. I do agree with you about that. You got to start Tua, unless he's hurt.
Tua's a better quarterback.
Huge props to Jalen Hurts being ready. Great story. Doesn't give up. Stayed with Alabama. He could have transferred anywhere he wanted.
Oh, stop!
Like Kelly Bryant.
Stop kissing his ass. Give me a
Jalen Hurts
break.
deserves all the praise right now. That was big time.
How about Nick Saban's?
He's gonna get all the girls in his room.
Okay then. No, we're definitely talking about that later, so keep that to yourself.
Talking about.
Okay, next topic. How many bitches will Jalen Hurts get? All right, let's go on to the actual slide. Oh, UCF comes back on Memphis to win the American Championship. Thoughts on this game? And if they win their bowl game,
What were you gonna say, Mike, about the bowl game?
if they win their bowl game, will they be national champions?
All right. Well, Memphis is not a good football team.
And you picked them last week.
Yeah, I know. I watched part of this game, and it was really painful. First of all, both teams play no defense. UCF, they probably have the worst defense in the Power 5.
Oh, you said it. You said it. Oh, Power 6. Oh, he just admitted it. Somebody soundbite that. Soundbite that. We'll be using that later.
The Power 5. If they were in the Power 5, they would have the worst defense in the Power 5.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it.
Defense in Oklahoma. Let's make that clear.
UCF, that was the worst defensive performance I've ever seen. They should have lost this game, but Memphis.
They put up 56 points with their backup quarterback.
Memphis is the Michigan of the American Conference.
Oh my God.
So
Why would you give respect where respect is due?
They will play LSU in their bowl game, and I expect LSU to win by 4 touchdowns, led by Joe Burrow. He will lead LSU to a easy win.
Chris, I'm happy for you. You admitted UCF's in a Power 6 conference.
No.
Why won't you give respect? Why won't you give respect where respect is due?
Because they don't deserve respect because they're not any good.
They deserve it more than Notre Dame.
Give me UCF over Notre Dame.
Oh boy.
I will be picking UCF over LSU first of all.
Yeah, we
Coach O sucks. Coach O sucks.
Coach O does struggle late in the season. I'll give you that.
This was a great game. They come in with their backup quarterback after a gruesome injury last week to Mackenzie Milton. Come in, they were down big early. Come back, put up 56 on Memphis to win the Power 6 American title. They should have been in the conversation for the college football playoff, and I expect them to win their bowl game.
Well, the good thing is for UCF, next year they've got a pretty good schedule. They might have a shot at it next year if they go undefeated. They've got Stanford at home.
They're not going to. They're going to get destroyed they're going to get absolutely whooped by Stanford.
No, they'll beat Stanford.
7-5 Stanford.
Then they'll go at Pitt.
Stanford would have beaten them by 40 points this year if they played.
That's ridiculous.
Give me a break. If Mackenzie Milton hadn't gotten hurt, he would be in the Heisman conversation.
How about 4-8 North Carolina?
Oh my gosh!
Give me Milton over Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's calm down. My gosh.
Okay, so UCF. So I was listening to the poetic voice of Brock Heward before I left to go to work. It's like, okay, UCF's going to lose this game. It's going to be either Fresno or Boise. Go to work, come out, and somehow UCF won the game. I don't know how it happened, but I didn't even look at the highlights, but they won. So yeah, if they win this next game, they can crown themselves national champions because because the NCAA does not officially sanction the college football playoff as an NCAA event, which means UCF can claim the national championship. That's right, UCF is the national champions if they win their bowl game.
Yes, they are national champions if they win, which I expect them to.
They're gonna throw another parade, back-to-back national champions.
After they beat your Auburn team last year, Chris.
Two different coaches, Scott Frost and Josh Heupel, who's the most underrated coach in America right now. Great coach. Former Missouri offensive coordinator's done a great job with a backup quarterback. I mean, come on. This guy was just throwing darts against Memphis. Memphis has got a great defense. They've always had a great defense.
What a win.
Great win.
Luke, what do you have to say?
I just think the new quarterback here, the guy who stepped in for Mackenzie Milton, he's good. With him at the helm, I think they might have a chance to run the table again next year. If they run the table next year and they don't get put in the playoff, the committee should be banned. Absolutely banned.
Isn't Milton isn't he a junior this year? He might be coming back next year.
He's out for a year.
He'll be back by the time what's it called? Probably. And they still got this guy who's pretty good. So once Milton comes back, they'll be in national championship form next year.
Yeah, he's a junior, Mike.
Okay, hopefully he comes back.
My goodness.
All right.
We move on.
Yeah, let's move on to Central Michigan hiring Jim McElwain.
Oh boy.
No, I'm joking. That is a great hire, though. Great. Okay, what are your Heisman picks right now?
Oh, I'll give you my standing. Tied at 1. I have 3 guys tied at 1.
You can't have a tied at 1.
Sorry, I have 3 guys tied at 1.
Oh, come on.
I have Kyler Murray, Dwayne Haskins, and Jarrett Stidham tied at 1. I'll take Mackenzie Milton in his hospital bed over there. I have Will Spade number 4. Then move down the list here. Jalen Hurts at number 5, and then Tua is down at 6.
Give me a break.
I'll take Jake Bentley over him. I'll take Kellen Mond over him. I'll take Joe Burrow over him. I'll take that Vanderbilt quarterback over him. I'll take that Tennessee quarterback over him. Do you want me to keep going? I'll take what's his name from Miami? What's his name? Malik Rozier. I'll take Malik Rozier over him. I'll take Nikhil Posey over him, the backup quarterback. I'll take Kenny Pickett over him. I'll take Brian Lewerke over him. I'll take Rocky Lombardi over him. I'll take Shea Patterson over him. You want me to keep going?
No, well set.
I'll take Tate Martell over him.
I think if you have to narrow it down to 3, I think you got to go Kyler, not in order, but Kyler Murray, Tua, and as much as it pains me to say, I think you have to throw Dwayne Haskins in there. And then I think Gardner Minshew should be number 4.
He's a choker. He is a choker.
It's not choking, it's about performance.
He's not a choker. It's Mike.
No, he didn't perform when the time mattered. He choked against
It's hard to throw in the snow.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're gonna put Gardner Minshew in there, you got to put Jake Browning in there.
Oh boy.
Jake Browning, the only.
Hey, Mike, where's your
they're thrilling conference championship game.
Jake Brown.
Your Heisman pick was worse than mine. Your Heisman pick's the backup running back for Oklahoma State.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You picked the running back from Oklahoma State to win the Heisman at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, well, he's the backup now, so that wasn't a great pick for me.
You also picked Miami in your playoff.
His Heisman pick was worse than mine.
What was your Heisman pick? Jarrett Stidham?
Jarrett Stidham.
That was ridiculous.
No, yours was worse. I can't remember what's his name again.
Justice Hill.
Justice Hill. Yeah.
I thought you said a linebacker from Oklahoma State that I picked for the Heisman.
No, you picked a running back. Who's now the backup to the great Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard's he's absolutely nasty. Well, if we were doing a Canadian Heisman, I would take Chuba Hubbard #1, but we're not doing that. I've got Dwayne Haskins as my Heisman, and I don't think it's even close. What he did against Northwestern, he throws for 500 yards against everybody except for Michigan State, but Michigan State's the best defense in the country, so that's no surprise there. He's been carrying his team all year long. Kyler Murray's good, but he's also got a running game. Dwayne Haskins hasn't had a consistent running game all year. It's been all on him, and he's just carried the load all year, and he's done a great job. I'll take Dwayne Haskins.
All right, I think Kyler Murray will win. I think that's who everyone's going to pick just because of all the hype around him. I think Dwayne Haskins should win because he has had the greatest season in Big Ten history. But my top three is Dwayne Haskins, Kyler Murray, and Joe Burrow. Yes! Joe Burrow leading LSU victory over UCF. Going down to dinner, coming back as
All right. Let's move on. For the New Year's 4 bowls, the Sugar Bowl. How do you guys feel about the New Year's 4 bowls? Did they get the matchups right, or should they have been better? We got Texas, Georgia, LSU versus UCF, Michigan versus Florida, Ohio State versus Washington. How do you guys feel about the matchups?
Well, now the LSU, UCF, that's fine. Texas should not be in one of these bowls.
Which Big 12 team are you putting in? Which Big 12 team are you going to...
They should have, as Mike said, Mike's idea, I'm not stealing it, they should have flexed another team, Michigan, or if they were going to put Penn State in without having Texas, or them, to the Sugar Bowl.
That makes no sense.
They've done it in the past. They've done it in the past.
Luke, if you're going to put in a Big 12 team over Texas, you put in West Virginia.
Right, that's true. That's also true. What if you just beat Texas at Texas, and they have one less loss, and they put Texas in? Ridiculous.
Yeah, what they've done it in the past. They put Michigan in the Sugar Bowl a couple years ago, so it's happened.
And they also, I'm tired of playing Florida. We've demolished them the past couple of years, but it will not happen this year. We will lose to Florida this year.
That's because the great Jim McElwain was coaching.
Yeah, well, Dan Mullen now is one of the better coaches in the country, so Florida.
Yeah, and Felipe Franks at the helm.
Doesn't matter. We always lose big games, so I'm taking Florida as my early pick.
That's ridiculous. They got blown out by Missouri.
What?
Florida?
They did lose to Missouri.
38-17.
Listen, Florida's a good team.
They're not a good team.
Florida is a very, very good football team.
They're not a very good football team.
They beat up on LSU.
They don't deserve Power 5. They don't deserve New Year's 6 Bowl. Washington State deserves it over them.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yes.
10-2 versus 9-3, and they're both Power 5.
They haven't beaten anybody. Washington State hasn't beaten anybody.
They beat Utah.
Boy.
And Wyoming. And San Jose State.
Florida has great wins.
Yeah, what are those great wins?
They beat LSU. You can't deny that. Good team.
Good win, yeah.
They beat Mississippi State. Can't deny that. Good team.
That is a good win. I'll give them that.
They beat South Carolina. That's Mike's team.
Okay.
That's not a good team.
Now we start to pump. Now we start to pump the brakes a little bit.
And they beat Idaho.
Oh, good win there. FCS Idaho. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think Texas should have been in the Sugar Bowl, but I mean, I guess if they wanted to do the second, if they did the second best Big 12 team.
Oh, but the SEC, that's what the Sugar Bowl is.
No crap. But they've done it before.
That's like saying they should have put freaking Florida into the Rose Bowl.
They've done it in the past. TCU made the Rose Bowl in like 2011. It happens.
Yeah, when one of the teams is in the championship.
No, that's not it. That's not necessarily it. No, because Texas Texas was ranked number 15. Texas was ranked number 15. They were low enough to be flexed out of that. And they went 9-4. 9-4 is not good enough for a New Year's Six bowl. That's not good enough.
And West Virginia fans should be living right now.
They went 8-3. They went 8-3. That's not good enough either. 8-3 is not good enough.
No, but it's better than 9-4. West Virginia fans should be living.
And they beat Texas. And Texas.
Well, they lost to Oklahoma State and Iowa State and Oklahoma.
Texas is already favored, or Georgia's already favored by 11 points.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. The Big 12 embarrasses themselves by putting Texas in this game. It's only for views. They only did it for television. That's the only reason why they did it.
Exactly, that's exactly right.
If Iowa State was 9-4, they would be putting Michigan in the Sugar Bowl.
Texas is going to go 9-5. Texas is going to go 9-5.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, Iowa State sucks. They should not be ranked. I want to throw that in after yesterday's embarrassing game.
Hey, that was the real.
They are a good team.
That was the real Big 12 championship. Iowa State against Drake.
Texas barely beat Kansas. Crying out loud.
I don't know how you could be motivated for a game against Drake when Oklahoma is playing Texas for the Big 12 championship at the same time.
They were trying to get to a big bowl.
Oh, come on. Oh, Iowa State would have to go 12-0 to make a single New Year's Six bowl. They couldn't go 11-1. They would have to go 12-0.
I just want to point out the fact that Clemson opened up as 12-point favorites over Notre Dame. And, that's absurd.
It's absurd.
That's way too low. It should be 20-point favorites. Way too low.
They opened up as 14-point favorites over Oklahoma. Neither of these games are projected to be good.
I know.
So top 4 teams and the games aren't going to be good.
They college football playoff just wants Alabama Clemson every year. It's like the NBA, Cavs Warriors every year.
Who is Iowa State going to play? Oh, never mind. They're playing Washington State.
Oh, that's a big game.
I'm taking Washington State by a lot.
I'll take Iowa State.
It should have been West Virginia versus Washington State. Amazing. There would have been 500
Washington State and West Virginia both should have been in bigger games or bigger bowl games.
They should have played each other.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Absurd.
who's West Virginia playing? Who are they playing? Syracuse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Syracuse sucks, so they'll blow Syracuse out.
Put Syracuse against Iowa State and put West Virginia against Washington State.
You know Syracuse is going to win that game because
they are not going to win that game.
No, that's an old Big East rivalry. Syracuse sucks at football. West Virginia doesn't, so West Virginia will win easily.
Dungy will be back for that game.
What?
Dungy will be back.
I don't care about Dungy. I don't give a crap. Oh, West Virginia's a better team.
Yeah, Michigan's a better team than Florida. Florida's still going to beat them.
Yeah, the one thing, if you had to put these 8 teams in for the 4 New Year's Bowls that aren't playoffs, why wouldn't you have UCF versus Florida? Why wouldn't you have the battle for Florida? That's stupid. They should have had that, and they should have LSU versus Michigan.
Michigan, LSU.
Yeah.
People got sold by LSU because Joe Burrow is from Ohio State.
They explained it because Michigan or either Michigan or UCF. They wanted Michigan to be closer to home, and they wanted UCF not to play in the Peach Bowl again like they did last year.
Well, that's stupid. That's dumb. Be closer to home. We have to go to California again. Give me a break.
They should have had Florida LSU in a bowl game.
They might as well put Michigan State in the Vietnam Bowl or something. We have to go freaking across the world to play. We have to go into Pac-12 territory for the 10th straight year. Give me a break. All right, let's move on. The other 5 Big Ten bowls. So we have 9 Big Ten bowls. But here...
Will we be picking them?
No, we won't be picking them. We'll pick bowl season later on. But how do you guys feel about the matchup for each team? We'll start with the Quick Lane Bowl, Minnesota versus Georgia Tech. What do you feel like how do you feel like the matchup favors in this game? Minnesota or Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech, they just fired their coach. So if they didn't...
He's still coaching. He's still coaching this game.
He's still coaching. Never mind.
He's retiring.
Give me the, what are they, the jackets? Yellow jackets?
You don't even know what they are.
Yellow jackets is out there.
I'll take they're the Bumblebees.
No, they're not the Bumblebees. They've got to be the Yellow Jackets.
The Bumblebees.
No, I'm taking Georgia Tech easily.
I think this matchup is pretty fair. I would say. I mean, it's a little in favor of Georgia Tech. I think they're obviously the better team, but I think it's pretty even.
I think the Big Ten's going to run the Bulls season this year. Almost like they almost did last year.
Yeah, well, this matchup does favor Georgia Tech, but I think PJ Fleck will have it rolling. He knows how to stop he knows how to stop that option offense, because I know he does. He just has that in his DNA. He's a big game coach, and he'll find a way to win the game. The Pinstripe Bowl, Wisconsin and Miami. Who is favored, or who do you guys think the matchup favors in this one?
It's easily Miami because they should have made the playoff. They had the talent to make the playoff. Miami.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute beast, so I think Wisconsin should be favored in this game.
Yeah,
Miami absolutely sucks.
Jonathan Taylor should be in New York for the Heisman ceremony.
No.
This is the bowl between the two biggest disappointments this year. They put together.
That's
So
true.
I think the matchup favors Wisconsin just because they're better defensively than Miami is, I think.
And how ironic we have the two most disappointing teams playing at Yankee Stadium. How ironic is that? It's perfect. Anyways, Jonathan Taylor will do what he did last year, and maybe even more. Run for over 300 yards on this defense. Mark Richt, who's a small game coach. He's a small game coach, and this is a big game. All right, the Music City Bowl, Purdue versus Auburn.
Oh, boy. You know what happened in big games? Jarrett Stidham stepped up to the plate.
What's
It's a big game.
7-5, Jarrett Stidham? 7-5, Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, this is a big game.
Gus Malzahn's also 1-4 in bowl games. I just
I
thought
saw
of
that. Jarrett Stidham stepped up last week. He was 13 for 30 last week against Alabama. So
he threw 13 touchdowns the entire year.
he's going to step up and really going to blow the doors off Purdue.
Well, if you look at it, Gus Malzahn sucks in bowls, and David Blow has outplayed Jarrett Stidham this year.
David Blow's the most underrated quarterback in the country.
More yardage and almost twice the amount of
Don't give me
touchdowns.
that. Don't give me that. Stidham has to play tougher defenses week in and week out.
No!
Oh my
Purdue
God.
had to play Michigan State. They had to play Ohio State, Wisconsin. Tough defenses right there.
Oh, yeah, Ohio State, tough defense, yeah.
Yep, tough defense. They
Yeah,
they held Michigan down pretty fine.
No, they got 39 points.
They hold-
Why are you
they-
talking about that? You sound like a media right now.
No, they held Michigan State to 6 points.
I think this is an underrated Big Ten team versus a very overrated SEC team.
Yeah.
So,
Purdue's not. Auburn's not going to be able to stop Rondell Moore. He's nasty. He's so good.
yeah, you should know, right?
Jarrett Stidham.
Well, Purdue, I think Jeff Brom is the most underrated coach besides PJ Fleck and Pat Fitzgerald in the country, and it's not even close.
He is staying as well. He's not leaving.
Yep,
I would have taken a simple job.
he took 2-10 Purdue to 7-6 last year, and now he's taking them to 7-6 again, because Purdue they might have disappointed with a tough loss to Minnesota, but you know that happens. Minnesota's a tough team to beat. No, they lost to Wisconsin in overtime, but Jonathan Taylor's nasty. But listen, David Blow is the most underrated quarterback in the Big Ten.
25 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, and he throws the nicest deep ball besides Dwayne Haskins in the league. So, I mean, and I think Auburn's really overrated. Purdue has the coaching advantage, and they have the quarterback advantage. Probably the defense favors Auburn, but yeah, Purdue's a much better team.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
Yes, it does. Auburn allowed less than 20 points a game.
That Jarrett Stidham has just played great, and Auburn's defense has choked him.
Oh, please.
If Jarrett Stidham is what
And I'll
traded
tell you what.
you, then I don't want to know what that is.
Let's talk about what games the Auburn defense has choked away. Alabama, they would have won the game if they had a good
Oh,
defense.
give me a break.
Oh, my God.
Tennessee, they would have won if they had a good defense.
Well, here. Let's consider.
Wait.
What do you consider letting their defense
Yeah,
out? How many points?
They got 30
And if
points.
Ohio State's
Tennessee.
defense could have held everybody to 0 points this year, they would have won the Big Ten, and they would have been favorites going into the freaking playoff. But that's
Against LSU, they would have won if they had a better defense. So they would have been 10-2
22 points.
if they had a good defense.
Well, what's a bad defense? 25 plus points.
You would have lost to just Georgia and Mississippi State, and they would be 10-2.
Okay,
Oh,
Purdue.
If they gave up 0 points the whole year, maybe they'd be undefeated.
So you're telling me
Actually, that's true.
You're telling me a Purdue team that gave up 23 points to Michigan State is better than Auburn's defense. Are you on crack?
Yes, it is.
You're on
Oh,
crack.
God.
They made Rocky Lombardi look good. Are you kidding me?
Rocky Lombardi's nasty.
Oh my God, he's awful.
Statistically, except for rushing yards allowed, Auburn has a better defense in every single category.
Rucker,
Auburn is you have to look at the choke factor. Auburn's defense is
the choke factor.
Yeah, I'll look at Gus Malzahn, who's 1-4 in bowl games.
Talk about a choke. How about the last year against UCF? What a choke of a game that was.
Listen, they just weren't motivated.
Oh, give me a break with the motivating factor.
Getting obliterated by Georgia.
Oh, and they'll be motivated in the Music City Bowl, I'm sure. They'll be very motivated.
Doesn't matter. They won't motivated, and
Yeah, that's why Jarrett Stidham threw the dagger pick at the end of the game. Exactly. Stidham had a chance to go down the field. Stidham had a chance to go down the field and win the game, and he choked, and he threw an interception, a pick six that sealed the game.
I remember him beating Alabama last year and giving them a chance to go to the playoffs.
It was actually Kerryon Johnson that beat Alabama. It wasn't him. Definitely wasn't him.
Choked it away against Georgia last year. So.
All right, let's move on.
Rocky Lombardi over Jared Stidham.
The Holiday Bowl, Northwestern versus Utah. What does the matchup favor?
Yeah.
I think it favors Utah, but I think they're the better team, and Northwestern is going to be gassed after.
They'll be gassed. They'll be gassed after 4 weeks off. Yeah.
No, mentally gassed.
I don't think so. I think they're just happy to get there.
I'm going with Northwestern.
Yeah, exactly. Happy to be there. They're not going to want to compete and contend.
No, they were happy to be in the Big Ten championship.
Oh, okay.
As far as the poll goes, Northwestern's overrated, but I think this game favors them because they play up and down in competition. By the way, Clayton Thorson is the most overrated quarterback in the country.
No. I haven't heard a single analyst talk about Clayton Thorson all year long. What are you talking about?
Over one. And he's barely over.
He's thrown more touchdowns than Jared Stidham.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. 14 interceptions.
He's throwing more.
He's coming off an ACL tear. That's tough.
Jared Stidham doesn't turn the ball
Yeah,
over.
because Jared Stidham just hands the ball off to his running back.
He's nasty at handing the ball off.
Oh my God. And so is Mackenzie Milton. If you wheeled his hospital bed onto the field, what's your point?
Luke, who does this matchup favor?
Northwestern. That was such a good coach. I think Northwestern's got to be favored.
Well, it pains me to say this, but Pat Fitzgerald sucks in bowl games. He sucks in bowl games. Last year was an outlier where they barely beat 7-5 Kentucky, but I'm going to favor Utah in this one. He lost in the Outback Bowl against Tennessee by like 40 points a couple years ago.
This game is also on the West Coast, so that also favors Utah.
Okay.
So bad.
Okay.
I watched Utah play that Pac-12 championship game. They are so bad. The Northwestern's going to blow the doors off Utah.
Well, listen,
Oregon.
I will say, but from experience, the change in time zone is overrated. It's overrated. They'll be fine. That won't make a difference. Utah right now, Utah's a great defense, and they have. I won't say they have the better coach, but they do have a good coach. Kyle Whittingham is a great coach. He's done a great job with Utah. Ever since Urban Meyer left, he's kept it up to a decently high level. But I still favor Utah in this game. Okay, the Outback Bowl, Iowa versus Mississippi State.
Mississippi State's got to be the favorite. It's got to be the favorite.
Yeah, easily.
I agree. I think they're both 8-4, but I think Mississippi State is much better 8-4.
Yeah, Mississippi State's the better football team, but Iowa could definitely win this game because they have a nasty quarterback, Nate Stanley. He's the best quarterback in the country.
Oh my God. Talk about a choker. My God. He is an absolute choker. Iowa wins the games that they're supposed to win and loses the games they're supposed to lose. and gets upset sometimes. But they find a way to go 8-5 every year, and they'll go 8-5 again. They'll lose. All right. The Rose Bowl, Ohio State versus Washington. Do you like the matchup for Ohio State in this game?
Yeah, because Washington is a bunch of chokers.
Yeah, I think Ohio State's a better team here.
Anyway, whoever, it doesn't matter the matchup. We are so PO'd right now, we would destroy everybody that comes across our path.
I think Washington does have the definite advantage in the defensive side of the ball, but
I think Washington does have a top 10 defense in the country, but I would put them in the Michigan category. They're that kind of defense. I think Ohio State's going to destroy them. And Jake Browning is the most. I've never seen a quarterback digress more than he does. I mean,
maybe Trace McSorley.
JT Barrett.
Now, I don't understand as an Ohio State fan how you guys can slander JT Barrett's name.
I love him, but he digressed as a quarterback.
He's the best Ohio State quarterback ever, and it's not even close.
no, JT Barrett.
Miller over
JT Barrett went. JT Barrett's freshman year.
JT Barrett's the Michigan killer.
No, JT Barrett's.
Every quarterback for Ohio State's the Michigan killer. Every single one. It's not the quarterback.
No, JT Barrett is the Michigan killer.
Oh no, JT Barrett. JT Barrett's freshman year, he was great. His sophomore year, he was not good at all. His junior year, he was not very good either. His senior year, he was pretty good. That's what his timeline went. He couldn't throw his sophomore and junior year. He could throw his senior year. All right, let's move on to the next one. The Citrus Bowl. Penn State versus Kentucky. Do you like the matchup for Penn State?
Yeah, Penn State's going to win this game by 60 points.
That's just not true. I'm taking Kentucky.
Oh, boy.
I
You
think
love
this
teams
is-
with no resume. You love those teams with no resume.
And this is Penn State, who hasn't won a big game.
Chris says the person who picked Louisville to beat Kentucky.
Well, listen, Kentucky. Oh,
Kentucky's a team on the rise versus a team on the downfall.
Oh boy, a team on the rise to beat Middle Tennessee by 11 points. They lost to Tennessee.
They were 7-5 last year, and they were ranked pretty freaking high this year. And
They
they're
lost
not even.
to Tennessee by 17 points.
Didn't Tennessee beat Auburn?
Yeah, so
Just saying.
they got obliterated by Georgia. They lost to Texas A&M. I mean,
Well, as you love to say, you got to throw in the choke factor, and James Franklin loves the choke.
well, if you're gonna throw on the choke factor, you got to include Kentucky in that.
Well, James Franklin chokes against good teams.
One of the best running backs in the country. I'm also going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to run all over that non-existent Penn State defense.
Well, Trace McSorley is the best quarterback in the Big Ten, and he's going to go all over that.
That's just not true.
Talk about a quarterback that's digressed. Trace McSorley has digressed way more than JT Barrett did. He stinks.
Listen. In bowl games, talent wins, and Penn State has more talent.
Penn State's biggest win this year was against Iowa.
Well, Iowa's a good team.
Come on, give me a break. They played Michigan State.
Okay.
They lost. They played Michigan. They lost. They played Ohio State, and they lost.
I mean,
Fine, they beat
Mississippi State.
And they should have lost to Appalachian State to start the year.
Well, Kentucky almost lost to Middle Tennessee. So
Kentucky shouldn't have even been being fed in this game to start the year.
what is that? That doesn't mean anything.
That's what I'm saying. They're on the rise. Their team has a lot of hope right now, and I think they're going to come in and surprise a lot of people and beat Penn State.
No.
No.
Yep. You can't factor in the choke factor because Kentucky's just not a good football team. I don't care what the record says. They lost to every good team they faced. And
like 16 points.
They did play Florida, Mike. They beat Florida.
yeah, well, Florida's overrated too. We'll get to that matchup later, but listen. Kentucky last year played Northwestern. Clayton Thorson got hurt, and they still couldn't beat him. Kentucky just doesn't win these games. Doesn't matter. Kentucky, we can go by the past. And Trace McSorley going out with a bang. Penn State.
Yeah.
These are the games that James Franklin wins by 1,000,000 points. These are the games he wins like 67-7. Then he'll lose to Michigan State the next week. But that's just how it works with him. Yeah, Penn State will destroy him. I love the matchup for Penn State. All right, the Peach Bowl. You like the matchup for Michigan against Florida?
Nope. I do like the matchup because I think if we can force Felipe Franks to throw the ball downfield, I think they'll be fine. And especially after that loss to Ohio State, I think they'll come out as Luke said, with Ohio State, Michigan's going to be a little PO'd and come out and run.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter. They can play, name your Division I team. Name a random Division I team.
Navy.
They could play Navy in the Peach Bowl, and they would lose. They would lose to Navy because it's a big game, and they like losing big games. So,
okay.
Florida's going to win this game, and it's going to be in heartbreaking fashion that only Michigan can do.
Michigan will choke the Big Ten's perfect record again. Yes.
Well, Michigan seems to have their way with Florida. That's the only bowl game that Jim Harbaugh's won at Michigan. And it was the Citrus Bowl or something. Well, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Citrus Bowl.
Harbaugh is the worst in bowls than he is against Ohio State.
Anyways, so yeah, the matchup should favor Michigan. If I was, I'm sure Jim Harbaugh paid off the Peach Bowl to get this matchup because this is the best matchup they could have gotten. If they played any other team, they would have got waxed. But Florida's overrated.
Except for UCF.
No,
UCF.
UCF would beat them easily.
Yeah, I would have
They played LSU, they lose by 80 points because Joe Burrow's from Ohio State. That's very true.
Well, Florida, just not a good team. Most overrated team I've ever seen. Lost to Kentucky at home, lost to Missouri at home. They're just not a good football team. Easy schedule. Colorado State, oh, what a team there. No, they're not very good. They'll probably beat Michigan because Michigan chokes, but this is a great matchup for Michigan. In fact, Michigan State has the harder bowl opponent than Michigan. I mean, it's weird. It's really ridiculous.
Oh, boy.
We got 8-4 Oregon, and you got 9-3 Florida. They're only a loss apart. And speaking of that game,
Speaking of Oregon, yeah.
the Red Box Bowl, formerly the Foster Farms Bowl, between Michigan State and Oregon. Do you like the matchup for Michigan State?
Yes, I do like the matchup for Michigan State.
Yes, I do.
I do not because Michigan State is playing without a real quarterback.
Hopefully Lewerke can play.
If he does play, the matchup is. Yeah, if he does play, the matchup's a little more favorable. But Oregon's offense is pretty good.
Well, if you look at Oregon, I mean, Justin Herbert is a very similar quarterback to Dwayne Haskins. And Dwayne Haskins didn't do anything against
Don't
Michigan
put
State.
Dwayne Haskins' name in the same sentence as Justin Herbert.
Similar in the way that they play.
No, that's ridiculous.
The way that they play.
No.
Okay. And Oregon does not have a running back. Ohio State does. And, Michigan State, they play great defense against Ohio State. And if Michigan State scores 13 points in this game, they're going to win.
I don't know if they can do that. Especially, it all depends on who's playing quarterback for Michigan State.
That doesn't really matter.
If Rocky Lombardi's playing, they're not going to put up more than 10 points.
Well, Lombardi's better than Work.
It's not true.
Yeah, no, not even close. Not even close. I'd rather have Tyler O'Connor in there. I'd rather have Damian Terry in there.
If you look at Lewerke is under 1 with his touchdown-interception ratio this year, which is just pathetic.
He also has no offensive line. Put him on Michigan, he'd have 40 touchdowns because Michigan's got the best offensive line in the country.
Honestly. He's almost as bad as John O'Corn.
No, that's ridiculous. Put John O'Corn on Michigan State, he'd have no touchdowns. Zero. He's 0 touchdowns.
All you want to do is hand the ball off.
Now, the Michigan State team of this year is very similar to the Michigan team of last year.
Only its offense is 100% worse, and its defense is about 5 times better.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I think the matchup favors Oregon.
I love the matchup for Michigan State. Bet you nobody is going to be picking us in this game, which is perfect. Mark D'Antonio will motivate the troops, get them ready for this game. What does Oregon do? They set up their passing game by running the football. And if we stop the run, then force Justin Herbert, who says he's going to play in this game, we're going to force him to throw. And you saw what Washington State did to them. They stopped the run, and Justin Herbert started the game 1 for 7 for 4 yards. And our defense is getting a lot better. I don't know if Josiah Scott will play due to the redshirt thing, but if he does, which I'm assuming he will play, Michigan State definitely will do well on defense. On the offense, hopefully we'll get a little bit more healthy, and maybe we'll run a couple trick plays like we usually do, and I'd expect us to win the game like 30-20 or something. But listen,
Hold on.
we'll get a couple.
Scoring 30 points.
We'll get a couple turnovers, and we'll get forced.
If you're gonna win, it's gonna be like 13-10 or something.
No, I think our offense will show up in this game. You'll see.
Oh boy, I've heard that a lot this year. I've heard that. Our offense is gonna show up in this game. Our offense is gonna show up on this game time and time again, and they just don't.
I think they will. I think this is the game. Oregon's defense sucks. I think they'll show up in this game. We've been playing.
Here's the thing. Oregon's defense
Rutgers defense sucks too.
No, they don't. Rutgers has a very good defense. Rutgers held Penn State to 23 points. Rutgers held Penn State to 23 points. So Rutgers has a pretty decent defense.
Sucks too.
What's that?
Nebraska's defense sucks too.
Okay, that's a little bit more inexcusable. But it was on the road, and it was snowing, so that was kind of tough. It won't be snowing in San Francisco.
It's pretty simple. Oregon's defense sucks, and then Michigan State's offense sucks even more. It's that simple.
Listen, I think they'll prove you wrong. I think our offense will show up in this game, but we'll see. I got Michigan State pretty handily. I mean, just like the Washington State game last year, our offense was not very good last year either, and we showed up in that game, put up like 50 points.
Yeah, it's not comparable to this offense.
Well, if Lewerke is back and healthy, well, you saw our offense this year with Lewerke was bad, but it wasn't as bad as this. With Lombardi, it's been awful.
Was it 5 for 25 against Michigan bad?
He was hurt. I only count the games where he was healthy.
No excuses.
Well, he had a labrum issue. You can't throw the ball with a labrum issue. Give me a break.
Bench against Michigan.
Well, we'll see next year. I got Michigan State by 20 points next year in that game against Michigan.
Okay.
Because we're the tougher team. We'll punch you in the mouth and you won't be able to do anything about it. All right, let's move on to the picks. We only have 6 picks this week. As you can see, Alex has tied Luke for number 1. And I'm only a game back. But Chris is still 19 games back. Friday, ESPN2 at 8 o'clock, Maine at Weber State.
Oh, boy. Big game. ESPN2, I'm sure they'll have Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit will probably be there.
Oh, okay. I think it'll be Justin Benetti or something.
He's good. He does a good job.
Oh, okay, then.
He called the Michigan State Louisville game.
Okay. Yeah, he's awful.
Just pick.
Maine, it was a big win last week. They proved me wrong. But they like to choke. Maine's a big choking school in these types of games, so I'm taking Weber State.
Alex? I'm going to take you, man. I think they're gonna come out. That's a big game. I'm going to take it.
Big declaration now, Alex. Take Maine to win the FCS championship.
I don't know if I'll go that far.
What's Weber State ranked?
They're the 2nd seed. And Maine's the 7th seed.
Oh boy, that's not good for Maine. But I'm going to take Maine in the upset.
Yes.
Looks like I'll be moving into a tie with first place after this game. Yeah, Maine. Weber State's a tough place to play. They play in the same state that Utah State plays in, so I'm going to take Weber State. It's just going to be too much travel for you, Maine. Oh, they are a good team, though. Okay, 12 o'clock on ESPN3 on Saturday. John Hopkins at Mount Union.
Mount Union in a blowout.
I'm taking Johns Hopkins.
He just took
And you wonder why you're 19 back.
Troy to beat Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Purple Raiders. You know, their mascot called the Muka or something like that for UMU, for University of Mount Union. So I'm going to take the Purple Raiders.
I'm going to take Mount Union as well. So Chris will be at least 20 games back. You know that?
No, I'll make up for it with the Weber State pick.
Yeah,
Okay,
by the
then.
way.
We got Colgate at North Dakota State.
Ooh. I watched Colgate play Army this year. And, you know, Carson Wentz went to North Dakota State, and Carson Wentz is not having a very good season. So I'm taking Colgate. Colgate's a good team. Watch them
Chris,
play against Army.
you know there's no
North Dakota State is the king of the FCS.
No.
Give me North Dakota State.
Chris, you know there's no prize for last place.
No, I'll tell you what, I'm making all this up during bowl season. I'm going to come in first place in this.
Luke, who do you have?
I'm going to take North Dakota State.
All right. Well, North Dakota State would make the playoff if they were in the FBS. So I'm going to take North Dakota State. They're better than Michigan. All right. South Dakota State at Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State's a really good team. I'm taking Kennesaw State. Michigan played them in basketball a couple years ago.
I'm taking Kennesaw State as well.
Is he still here?
No.
All right. I'm going to take South Dakota State because I want to see the South Dakota State-North Dakota State matchup next week. I'm going to take South Dakota State.
I'm off that.
All right. Army versus Navy.
Now, Army, clearly the better team. But for a friend of mine, I'm taking Navy.
Oh, boy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jeff Monken in Army. Navy? No, I'm not. I'm taking Navy. Navy. Navy has a lot of talent. They just couldn't put it together. Ken Niumatalolo, he's like the Tua Tagovailoa of the Navy team. Malcolm Perry, who's the other guy they have? I forget his name. Zach Abey, he's good as well. I think Navy's going to come out fighting hard. They lost 2 in a row. They're not going to make it 3. Navy.
So you were biased with Mount Union, and now you're biased towards Navy too, Luke, right?
I'm not biased towards Navy, actually. Just Mount Union.
Oh, really? Okay. No, I'm going to take Army. UC Davis at Eastern Washington on the red field. Who wins?
Eastern Washington in a blowout.
You know what? I saw Boise State lose on the blue field yesterday, so therefore Eastern Washington will lose on the red field. Give me UC Davis.
No, I'm going to take Eastern Washington. And that'll be it for today's episode of the Big Four Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.